Have you ever saved money with Ejo daily contribution before? How did that end for you? For my non-Nigerian friends, Ejo is a daily collection where you save money with a collector for some time. What is it called in your country? Let me know in the comments. Many years ago, there was a textile market called Rainbow Market in the heart of Lagos. It was the biggest and most vibrant textile market in the entire city. Colorful fabrics danced in the wind from every store. Bright Ankara prints, shimmering lace materials, rich velvet cloths, and beautiful George wrappers that caught the sunlight like jewels. The market buzzed with energy from morning till night as thousands of customers came to buy the finest fabrics in Lagos. Rainbow Market was a place where dreams were sewn into reality. The traders were hardworking people who had built their businesses through years of dedication, and they trusted each other like family. That trust was destroyed by a woman named Gloria. Gloria was the sweetest Ejo collector you could ever meet. She had been coming to Rainbow Market for 2 years, collecting money from traders who wanted to save for Christmas, school fees, shop expansions, and family emergencies. She knew everyone's children by name, helped settle disputes between traders, and even attended their weddings and naming ceremonies. "Save your money with me," Gloria would say with her bright smile. "Your Christmas rice money, your children's school fees money, your shop rent. Everything is safe with Mama Gloria." And for 2 wonderful years, it was true. Gloria returned every penny on time, sometimes even adding small gifts for her loyal customers. The market people loved her like their own sister. Then came that terrible December morning when their world fell apart. Traders arrived at Rainbow Market to find chaos. Women were crying, men were shouting, and someone was smashing bottles where Gloria's small office used to be. "What's happening?" asked Mama Kemi, who sold Ankara fabrics. "She's gone," wailed Mama Fola, sitting on the muddy ground. "Gloria has disappeared with all our money." "Gone where? Maybe she's just sick or—" "Her office is empty. Her house is empty. She has vanished with over 10 million naira of our savings." The news hit Rainbow Market like a bomb. Mama Aduni, the market leader, had saved for 5 years to buy goods for the Christmas season. All gone. Baba Sule had trusted Gloria with his life savings for retirement. Stolen. Mama Patience had saved every naira for her son's university admission. Disappeared. "My Christmas rice money," one woman screamed, tearing at her clothes. "My daughter's wedding fund," another cried, falling to her knees in the muddy market square. "20 years of my sweat," sobbed an old man who sold buttons and zips. The market descended into complete madness. Some traders fainted from shock. Others tried to break into Gloria's abandoned house, only to find it stripped completely bare. Even Gloria's own family claimed they knew nothing. "We haven't seen her in weeks," her sister had lied, avoiding the desperate, angry faces of the betrayed traders. That day, 4 market women were rushed to the hospital from shock. An elderly man suffered a heart attack and nearly died. Several families almost broke apart as husbands and wives blamed each other for trusting Gloria with their life savings. But the cruelest blow came weeks later when rumors reached them that Gloria had been spotted living luxuriously in Dubai, enjoying expensive hotels and shopping sprees with their stolen dreams. From that moment, Rainbow Market declared total war on every Ejo collector in existence. "Never again," Mama Aduni declared, with tears streaming down her weathered face. "No daily contribution person will ever step foot in this market again. We would rather bury our money in the ground than trust another Ejo collector." And they meant every word. For 3 long years, any person who dared approach Rainbow Market with collection books and promises of safe savings was met with violence. Rotten tomatoes flew through the air, stones were hurled, sticks were raised, and curses were shouted. The traders had learned their lesson in the most painful way possible. Anyone who tried to do a job business in Rainbow Market was chased away like a common thief. Get out of here. We don't want your kind here. Find another market to deceive. Ajo is banned in Rainbow Market. The ban was complete and absolute. No exceptions, no mercy, no second chances. Or so they thought. What the traders of Rainbow Market didn't know was that a woman named Diana was already on her way to their market. A woman who was very different from regular Ajo collectors. Diana wasn't coming with just sweet words and promises. She was coming with dark powers that could make anyone agree to anything she said. And once she set foot in Rainbow Market, nothing would ever be the same again. Before Diana ever heard of Rainbow Market, she was just a regular Ajo collector living quietly in another part of Lagos. She had a small but successful business, a loving husband named Peter, and dreams of expanding her daily contribution service to help more people save money. Diana was honest in those days. When people gave her money to save, she returned it exactly when promised. When people needed loans, she gave fair terms and reasonable interest. Her customers trusted her completely, and her business grew steadily through good reputation. But everything changed when she married Peter. At first, Peter seemed supportive of Diana's business. He helped her keep records, accompanied her on collections, and even brought his own friends as customers. Diana thought she had found the perfect partner for life and business. For 2 years, everything went smoothly. Diana and Peter worked together, and their Ajo business flourished. Diana saved money with over 60 families, and she had loaned out substantial amounts to help people expand their shops and pay for emergencies. Then Diana's problems began when she couldn't get pregnant. Month after month, year after year, no children came. Peter began to change. He became distant, impatient, and started staying out late. Diana tried everything: hospitals, traditional herbs, prayers, but still no pregnancy. "What kind of woman are you?" Peter would shout during their fights. "2 years of marriage, and you can't even give me one child." "Please be patient," Diana would beg. "The doctor says there's nothing wrong with either of us. It will happen when God wants it to." God? Which God? Maybe the problem is that you're cursed. The marriage became a battlefield of accusations and disappointments, but Diana held on to hope, believing that love and patience would heal their problems. She was wrong. One morning, Diana woke up to find their house completely empty. Peter had taken everything: furniture, electronics, even her clothes. But that wasn't the worst part. He had also taken all the money. Diana rushed to check their business account, her personal savings, and the safe where she kept customer deposits. Everything was gone. Over 1.5 million naira had vanished overnight. In the kitchen, she found a note that destroyed her completely. "Diana, I'm tired of waiting for children that will never come. I found someone else who can give me what I need. Don't look for me. By the time you read this, we'll be in another state starting our new life together. Sorry about the money, but I need it more than you do. Peter." Diana collapsed on her kitchen floor and cried until she had no tears left. Her husband was gone. Her money was gone. But worst of all, her customers' money was gone too. Within hours, the phone call started. "Diana, I need to collect my savings for my daughter's school fees next week." "Sister Diana, my landlord is asking for rent. Please prepare my money." "Mama Diana, my son's wedding is next month. I hope my savings is ready." One by one, Diana had to tell them the horrible truth. Their money was gone. Her husband had stolen everything and disappeared. Some customers were understanding at first. These things happen, Diana. Just take your time and get our money when you can. We know you're an honest person. You'll find a way to pay us back. Your husband is the thief, not you. We still trust you. But as days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, understanding turned to suspicion, then to anger, then to rage. Diana sold everything she owned, her jewelry, her clothes, her furniture. She borrowed money from friends and relatives. She took loans from banks and money lenders, but it wasn't enough, not even close. The amount Peter had stolen was too massive for her to replace quickly, and every day, the pressure from customers grew stronger. Diana, where is our money? It's been 3 months. We need our savings. Are you trying to cheat us like your useless husband? Diana tried desperately to explain, to beg for more time, to show them she was doing everything possible to repay them. But desperation had made her customers lose their patience. We don't want to hear stories. We want our money. Sell your house if you have to. We trusted you with our life savings. The situation reached a breaking point on a Tuesday morning when Diana couldn't meet the weekly payment she had promised to her customers. She was in her house, trying to figure out how to get more money when she heard shouting outside. Diana, come out and face us. She looked through the window and saw about 30 of her former customers gathered in front of her house. They looked angry and desperate, carrying sticks and stones. We know you're in there, shouted Baba Adamu, whose retirement savings had disappeared. Come out and give us our money. My daughter's wedding is this weekend, cried Mama Halima. I need my money now. We're tired of your excuses, another voice yelled. Pay us today or face the consequences. Diana was terrified. She had never seen her customers so angry and aggressive. These were people who had once treated her like family. Now they looked ready to hurt her. The crowd grew larger and more violent as neighbors came to see what was happening. She's a thief, just like her husband. Let's break down the door. Search the house. She might have hidden our money somewhere. Diana realized she was in real danger. These people were beyond reasoning with. They wanted their money, and if they couldn't get it, they might take their frustration out on her physically. As the crowd began throwing stones at her windows and threatening to break down her door, Diana made a desperate decision. She gathered what little cash she had, her phone, and a few clothes. Then she climbed over her back fence and ran for her life, leaving everything else behind. She could hear the crowd discovering her escape. She's gone! Search everywhere. Find her! Don't let her get away. But Diana was already several streets away, running as fast as her legs could carry her, tears streaming down her face. Behind her, she could hear the sounds of her house being vandalized, windows breaking, doors being forced open, angry voices searching through her belongings. By the time Diana stopped running, she was miles away from her neighborhood, hiding in a public toilet at a motor park, shaking with fear and desperation. She had lost everything: her husband, her money, her business, her house, and now her freedom. She couldn't go back home because angry customers would be waiting for her. She couldn't start over because she had no money. She couldn't even show her face in that area because everyone knew she owed money she couldn't repay. That's when she remembered Uncle Thomas. Uncle Thomas was her father's closest friend and business partner from years ago. He lived in Ibadan and had always been kind to Diana when she was growing up. If anyone could help her now, it would be him. With the last money she had, Diana bought a night bus ticket to Ibadan. As the bus pulled away from Lagos, Diana stared out the window at the city lights disappearing in the distance. She was leaving behind her old life, her problems, and her identity. But she had no idea she was about to make a deal that would turn her into something far worse than anything Peter had ever done to her. Uncle Thomas lived in a lavish mansion in a highbrow neighborhood in Ibadan. When he opened his door at 5 a.m. to find Diana standing there with a small bag, looking battered and desperate, he just shook his head sadly. "Ah, Diana, it seems you have fallen into trouble that is bigger than you. What is it this time?" Diana collapsed on his living room floor and burst into tears. Through her sobs, she told him everything: Peter's betrayal, the stolen money, the angry customers, the vandalized house, her desperate escape in the night. Uncle Thomas listened carefully, occasionally shaking his head with disappointment. "So you owe these people how much money?" he asked when she finished. 20 million naira, uncle. I've tried everything. Banks won't lend me that much money. Friends and family don't have that kind of money to help. I don't know what to do." Uncle Thomas was quiet for a long time, studying Diana's tear-stained face. "You know," he said slowly, "I warned your father about this age of business many years ago." "What do you mean, uncle?" "I told him, this business is not something you do with ordinary hands. There is nothing in this life that you do with ordinary hands that succeeds completely." Diana looked confused. "I don't understand." Uncle Thomas leaned forward, his voice dropping to almost a whisper. "Your father never listened to me. He tried to do a job business with just hard work and honesty. Look where it got him. He died of high blood pressure from customer problems and money stress." "But uncle, hard work and honesty are good things." "Good?" Uncle Thomas laughed bitterly. "Good for who? Look at you now. You were honest, you worked hard, and where did it get you? Running for your life with angry people wanting to kill you for money you don't even have." Diana remained silent, listening. "Look at me," Uncle Thomas continued, spreading his arms to show his comfortable surroundings. "Am I running from anyone? Am I stressed about customer money? Number. Because I learned what your father refused to learn." "What did you learn, uncle?" "That you need help in this business. Special help. You cannot succeed in a job business just like that. You need power backing you up." Diana felt a chill run down her spine. "What kind of power, uncle?" Uncle Thomas stared at her for a long moment, as if deciding whether to trust her with a dangerous secret. "Diana," he said finally, "what do you want me to do for you? Do you want me to give you fish? Or do you want me to teach you how to fish?" Diana thought about her desperate situation. She had no money, no home to return to, and angry creditors hunting for her. Her old life was completely destroyed. "Uncle," she said quietly, "please teach me how to fish. Teach me how to be successful in this business so that I never have to run from anyone again." Uncle Thomas studied her face carefully. "Are you ready to do what it takes? Are you ready to go places and see things that might frighten you? Are you prepared to follow instructions exactly, even if they seem strange?" Diana nodded without hesitation. "Yes, uncle. I have nowhere else to go. I'm ready to do whatever it takes." Uncle Thomas smiled, but it was not a kind smile. "Good. Rest today, eat something, and get your strength back. Tomorrow morning we're going on a journey." The next day, very early in the morning, Uncle Thomas and Diana left his house and drove for hours into remote areas Diana had never seen before. They passed through small villages, thick forests, and winding roads that seemed to lead nowhere. Finally, they reached a tiny village deep in the forest. Uncle Thomas parked the car at the edge of the village and began walking. Diana followed him, her heart beating faster with each step. They walked past small mud houses where villagers stared at them curiously. Uncle Thomas had warned her not to greet anyone or make eye contact, so Diana kept her head down and followed silently. They walked for what felt like hours, leaving the village behind and entering thick forest. The path was narrow and overgrown, as if few people ever used it. Strange sounds came from the trees, birds Diana didn't recognize, rustling that might have been animals or wind. Finally, they reached a small hut deep in the forest, so hidden that Diana wouldn't have seen it if Uncle Thomas hadn't led her directly to it. "Remember what I told you?" Uncle Thomas whispered as they approached the door. "Whatever you see, don't shout, don't make noise. Let me do all the talking. Just be respectful and keep quiet." Diana nodded, though her heart was pounding with fear. Uncle Thomas knocked on the door in a strange pattern. 3 quick knocks, pause. 2 slow knocks, pause. 1 long knock. The door opened and Diana nearly screamed. The woman who appeared was the most terrifying person Diana had ever seen. She looked ancient, as if she had lived for centuries. Her hair was completely white and wild. Her skin was wrinkled like old leather, and her teeth were all black and sharp. But it was her eyes that frightened Diana the most. She seemed to have 3 eyes, 2 normal ones, and a third one in the center of her forehead that looked like it could see straight into your soul. The woman smiled when she saw Uncle Thomas, and her black teeth made her look even more frightening. "Ah, my dear customer," she said in a voice that sounded like grinding stones. "You have brought someone new." "Yes, wise mother," Uncle Thomas said, bowing respectfully. "This is Diana, the daughter of my late friend. She needs help with her business." The woman's 3 eyes focused on Diana, studying her so intensely that Diana felt like she was being examined by a scientist. "Come inside, child," the woman said. "Let us talk about what you need." Diana followed Uncle Thomas into the hut, fighting the urge to run away screaming. The inside of the hut was even more frightening than the woman herself. Strange objects hung from the ceiling, dried animals, mysterious bottles filled with dark liquids, masks that seemed to watch her with empty eyes. The air smelled like burnt herbs, and something else Diana couldn't identify, but that made her stomach turn. "Sit," the woman commanded, pointing to a low stool. Diana sat, trying not to look at the disturbing objects around her. The woman settled onto her own stool and fixed all 3 eyes on Diana. "So, child, what exactly do you need? What kind of blessings do you want?" Diana found her voice, though it came out as barely a whisper. "Wise mother, I want to be successful in age-old business. I want to be rich. I'm tired of living from hand to mouth, tired of people cheating me, tired of running from problems. I want to have power so that when I speak, people listen to me and obey me. I want doors to open for me wherever I go." The woman smiled a terrible black-toothed smile. "Ah, that is a small thing for me to do. Very small. But there is a price you must pay." Diana's blood ran cold, but she forced herself to ask, "What is the price, wise mother?" The woman reached under her stool and brought out an ancient calabash, black with age and carved with symbols that seemed to move in the flickering candlelight. "I will give you this calabash. You will keep it in your bedroom, hidden where no one can see it. Every month, on the first day of the month, you must feed it." "Feed it what?" "Old money, dirty money, money that has been in the hands of many people. Money from traders, laborers, students, beggars. The dirtier and more worn the money, the better. You must collect 7 different denominations: 1,000 naira, 500 naira, 200 naira, 100 naira, 50 naira, 20 naira, and 10 naira. All must be old and dirty." Diana felt confused. "Why old money?" The woman's eyes gleamed with an evil light. "Because old money carries power, child. Money that has passed through many hands, has touched many destinies, many dreams, many hopes. When you feed this money to the calabash, you are giving me access to all those destinies. The calabash will harvest the luck, the prosperity, the success of everyone whose hands have touched that money. And I will transfer all that power to you. Diana felt sick to her stomach, but the woman continued. In return for this monthly feeding, I will give you a special substance to place under your tongue. Anyone you speak to will find your words irresistible. They will agree to whatever you say, trust you completely, and their businesses will prosper as long as they remain connected to you through your aegis service. The woman reached into a dark pouch and brought out a small vial filled with something that looked like black powder. Place a tiny amount under your tongue before you speak to potential customers. Your voice will become like sweet music to their ears. They will not be able to refuse you anything. Diana stared at the calabash and the vial, understanding finally what Uncle Thomas had meant by special help. But wise mother, she whispered, what happens if I forget to feed the calabash? The woman's smile disappeared, and her face became terrifyingly serious. Then you will lose everything. The power will turn against you. Your customers will hate you. Their businesses will fail. Disasters will befall everyone connected to you. And you, she leaned forward, her three eyes burning into Diana's soul. You will suffer pain that no doctor can heal, fear that no medicine can cure. You will lose your mind, your health, and eventually your life. The hut fell silent, except for the crackling of candles and Diana's heart beating like a drum. So, child, the woman said finally, do you accept these terms? Power and wealth in exchange for monthly feeding of the calabash, success and prosperity in exchange for harvesting the destinies of others. Diana looked at Uncle Thomas, who nodded encouragingly. She thought about her destroyed life, her angry creditors, her complete hopelessness. She thought about Peter living happily with his pregnant girlfriend, using her stolen money. She thought about sleeping in motor parks and public toilets, afraid to go home. Yes, wise mother, she whispered. I accept. The woman clapped her hands together with a sound like thunder. Excellent. You have made a wise choice, my child. You are now my agent in the world of the living. Take the calabash and the powder. Remember, first of every month, without fail, feed me the destinies of the people, and I will make you richer than you ever dreamed. Uncle Thomas paid the woman with money Diana didn't see him give, and they left the terrible hut carrying the calabash, wrapped in black cloth. As they walked back through the forest, Uncle Thomas was cheerful and encouraging. You see, it wasn't so difficult, was it? Just follow her instructions exactly, and you'll never have money problems again. Uncle, Diana asked nervously, are you sure this is right? It feels so what? Scary? Different? Diana, look at your life right now. You're running from creditors who want to kill you. You have no money, no home, no future. This woman is offering you power, wealth, and success. What's scary about that? They reached the car and drove back toward Ibadan in silence. Diana held the wrapped calabash in her lap, feeling like it was alive and watching her. That night, Uncle Thomas gave her 50,000 naira in cash. Take this money and go somewhere new, he said. Don't go back to where people know you. Find a big market in another area. Start fresh. And remember, never tell anyone about what happened today. This must remain our secret forever. Diana nodded, still feeling dazed by everything that had happened. Uncle, how will I know where to go? Find the biggest, busiest market you can. Markets are full of money, full of people who need aegis services. And Diana, he looked at her seriously. Remember what the wise mother said. first of every month, without fail. Don't get too comfortable and forget your obligations. The next morning, Diana took a bus to a part of Lagos she had never lived in before. She asked people about the biggest markets in the area. There's Rainbow Market, one person told her. But I hear they don't allow age-old people there anymore. Something about a woman who stole their money years ago. Diana smiled to herself. A market that didn't allow age-old people would be the perfect challenge for her new powers. That afternoon, she found Rainbow Market and spent time observing the big buildings, the crowded shops, the hard-working traders. She watched as they chased away an aged woman with sticks and rotten tomatoes. "Perfect," she whispered, touching the vial of black powder in her pocket. The next morning, Diana would put her dark powers to the test. She would walk into Rainbow Market and do something that should have been impossible. Convince the market leader to give her not just permission to do a job business, but the best shop in the entire market. And once she had that shop, the real magic would begin. The next morning, Diana woke up early and prepared for the most important performance of her life. She dressed in her finest clothes, a beautiful Ankara dress and expensive jewelry that Uncle Thomas had bought for her. She wanted to look successful and trustworthy. Before leaving her small hotel room, she opened the vial of black powder the native doctor had given her. It looked like crushed charcoal mixed with something that sparkled in the light. Following the instructions carefully, she placed a tiny amount under her tongue. The effect was immediate. Diana felt a strange tingling sensation in her mouth, and when she looked in the mirror, her eyes seemed brighter, her smile more charming. Even her voice sounded more melodious when she practiced speaking. She walked confidently toward Rainbow Market, carrying her leather handbag and a professional-looking notebook. As she approached the main entrance, she could see traders setting up their stalls for the day's business. Diana went straight to the market office, where she had been told the market leader conducted business. The sign outside read, "Mama Aduni, market leader." She knocked politely on the door. "Come in," came a strong female voice from inside. Diana entered to find a middle-aged woman sitting behind a wooden desk, counting money and recording transactions in a large ledger book. This was clearly someone who took her responsibility seriously. "Good morning, Mama," Diana said respectfully. "My name is Diana. I've come to request a shop space in your market." Mama Aduni looked up, immediately suspicious. She had seen many people come asking for shop space, but something about this woman made her wary. "What kind of business do you want to do?" she asked carefully. This was the crucial moment. Diana felt the power of the substance under her tongue activating as she spoke. "I want to do your daily contribution and loan services for the hardworking traders in this market," Diana said, her voice taking on an almost musical quality. Mama Aduni's eyes widened in shock and anger. She opened her mouth to shout at this woman for even suggesting such a thing in Rainbow Market. But something strange happened. The harsh words she had prepared simply wouldn't come out of her mouth. Instead, she felt an odd calm washing over her, and Diana's voice sounded so reasonable, so trustworthy. "I know you've had bad experiences with aged people in the past," Diana continued smoothly, her voice weaving a spell around Mama Aduni's mind. "But I'm not like those other people. I come highly recommended. I have years of experience and excellent references. I believe it's time to give someone trustworthy a chance to serve this wonderful market." Mama Aduni blinked several times, feeling confused. Everything Diana said sounded so logical, so sensible. Why was she resisting such a reasonable request? We don't allow a job business here," she said weakly. But even as she spoke, the words felt wrong in her mouth. "Of course you're careful," Diana agreed, her voice becoming even more persuasive. That shows excellent leadership. But wouldn't it be unfair to judge me based on someone else's mistakes? I'm sure a wise leader like you can recognize the difference between a genuine businesswoman and a fraudster. The magical substance under Diana's tongue was working perfectly. Mama Aduni found herself nodding in agreement. You know what? Diana continued. I have an excellent business plan and the capital to start immediately. I was hoping to get that beautiful shop space at the center of the market, the one with the large frontage that would be perfect for serving many customers efficiently. Mama Aduni should have been outraged. That central shop was the most coveted space in Rainbow Market. She had refused to give it to dozens of traders over the years, claiming it wasn't available for new businesses. But Diana's voice was like honey, wrapping around her thoughts and making everything sound perfectly reasonable. That shop, Mama Aduni said slowly, her voice sounding strange even to herself, would be perfect for helping the hardworking people of this market save money safely and access loans for their business growth. Diana finished the sentence. I'm sure someone with your wisdom and experience can see the benefits this would bring to the entire market community. Before Mama Aduni fully understood what was happening, she found herself reaching for the keys to the central shop. Yes, she heard herself saying, yes, I think that would be good for the market. You seem very, very professional, very trustworthy. Thank you so much, Mama Aduni, Diana said with a dazzling smile. I promise you won't regret this decision. I'll make sure every trader in this market benefits from my services. 20 minutes later, Diana walked out of the office carrying the keys to the best shop space in Rainbow Market. Behind her, Mama Aduni sat at her desk, looking dazed and confused, unable to quite remember why she had just given the most valuable shop in the market to a complete stranger wanting to do the very business she had banned. Diana spent the rest of that day setting up her office. She bought expensive furniture, installed air conditioning, and had beautiful signboards made. By evening, her shop looked more professional and luxurious than any other business in Rainbow Market. But she saved the biggest surprise for the next morning. Very early, before most traders arrived, Diana had workers install her massive signboard above the shop. Diana Daily Collection and Loans. Your destiny awaits. Then she sat back and waited for the fireworks to begin. The first trader to notice was young Emeka, who sold phone accessories near the market entrance. He was walking to his store when he saw the huge sign and nearly dropped his goods in shock. Jesus Christ, he shouted, loud enough to wake half the market. Come and see! Come and see what's happening! Other traders came running, thinking there was a fire or an accident. When they saw the signboard, the reaction was immediate and explosive. What is this? Screamed Mama Kemi. How did this happen? Who allowed this woman to open a job business here? Shouted Baba Sule. Where is Mama Aduni? Demanded Mama Patience. How could she allow this? A crowd gathered quickly, their voices rising in anger and disbelief. These people had spent 3 years chasing away anyone who tried to do a job business in their market. Now they were staring at a professionally installed office right in their center, advertising the very service they had banned. Call Mama Aduni. Get the market leader. This must be a mistake. Someone ran to fetch Mama Aduni, who came hurrying to the scene, looking confused and disoriented. Mama Aduni. Mama Kemi confronted her immediately. What is the meaning of this? How did this woman get permission to open a job business in our market? And not just anywhere, added Baba Sule angrily, but in the best shop. The shop you've been telling us for years is not available. Mama Aduni stared at the signboard, touching her forehead as if trying to remember a dream. I, I gave her the shop, she said uncertainly. You what? The crowd exploded. But why? Demanded Mama Patience. You know what happened with Gloria. You're the one who banned all Ajo people. I, She seemed different, Mama Adoni said slowly, still touching her head. She came highly recommended. She said she was trustworthy. And I believed her. The crowd stared at their market leader in complete shock. This was the same woman who had sworn that no Ejo person would ever set foot in Rainbow Market again. The same woman who had personally organized the violent chasing away of Ejo collectors for 3 years. Mama Aduni, said Mama Sani carefully, are you feeling well? This doesn't sound like you at all. My sister has been begging you for that shop for 2 years, added another trader. You kept saying it wasn't available. Now you give it to a complete stranger for a job business. Mama Aduni looked genuinely confused and distressed. She kept touching her forehead as if trying to remember something that remained just out of reach. I remember talking to her yesterday, but the details are fuzzy. It's all unclear in my mind. That's when Diana made her grand entrance. She emerged from her beautifully furnished shop, wearing an expensive outfit that made her look like a successful businesswoman. Her jewelry caught the morning sunlight, and everything about her radiated prosperity and confidence. Good morning, wonderful people of Rainbow Market, she called out cheerfully, her voice carrying that same musical quality that had enchanted Mama Aduni. The crowd turned to stare at her, their anger temporarily replaced by curiosity. This woman was nothing like the scared, desperate Ajo collectors they usually chased away. She looked rich, successful, and completely at ease. I know you have concerns, Diana continued, walking closer to the crowd. And I completely understand your caution after your bad experience with that Gloria woman. Several people gasped at her boldness in mentioning Gloria's name directly. But I want you to know that I'm nothing like her, Diana said, her voice becoming more persuasive with each word. I'm here to rebuild the trust that she destroyed. I'm here to show you that not all Ejo people are thieves and liars. That's exactly what Gloria said, shouted Baba Sule from the back of the crowd. I know, Diana replied calmly, her voice somehow managing to remain soothing despite the hostility. And that's why I don't expect you to trust me based on words alone. Let me prove myself through actions. The magical substance under her tongue was working on the entire crowd now. Several people found themselves listening more carefully instead of preparing to attack. Here's what I propose, Diana announced. Give me just 1 month. 1 month to prove that I'm different. Let anyone who wants to save even small amounts, 200 naira, 500 naira, save with me. If I don't return every single naira exactly when promised, you can ban me forever and call the police on me. The crowd murmured among themselves. There was something about this woman that was different from other Ajo collectors. Her confidence, her professional appearance, the way she spoke with such certainty. 1 month? Mama Aduni heard herself saying, just to test, just to test. Diana confirmed with a smile that seemed to light up the morning. What do you have to lose? If I'm lying, you'll know within a month. If I'm honest, you'll have found someone who can help your businesses grow. And somehow, impossibly, the most anti-Ajo market in Lagos found itself agreeing to give an Ajo woman a chance. But we're watching you, warned Mama Kemi, though her voice lacked its usual venom. I wouldn't expect anything less, Diana replied graciously. Smart business people should always be careful with their money. As the crowd dispersed, still muttering in confusion about what had just happened, Diana smiled to herself. The first phase of her plan was complete. Tomorrow, she would begin the real work, going from shop to shop, using her supernatural powers to convince the traders of Rainbow Market to entrust her with their money. And once they did, the ancient calabash in her bedroom would begin feeding on their destinies, making Diana richer and more powerful than she had ever dreamed possible.